Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a replacement on the IR cover port that is very scratched up on my Modretro Chromatic. In my video for this device, I had mentioned how I had reached out to Modretro, their support line, and their customer service is really great, to be honest with you. I can't fault them for that. And what they did was today I received a replacement cover. It came like this out of the box, and for a $200 device that I'd like to take as much care of as I can for the remainder of my life and its own, I would like to have a nice cover here. And I don't think it's too much to ask. I know even my original Game Boy color cover is not scratched like this over years. So anyway, we're going to take this apart, and I've never been in here. I've not done an unboxing, and we're just going to swap this out real quick and see what's involved. Hopefully it's going to be real quick. But it does seem like this is an ongoing issue with a lot of people's chromatics. They've been getting these scratched IR ports, and it sounds like they are reciprocating by giving people out a replacement, which is fantastic. It took about a week to get here, but I blame the snow. So they also came with this little tri-wing screwdriver, which is very nice, very kind to include. I have my own set, but the heck, we're going to use it. It was nice of them to include it. We're going to do it. So I've taken the batteries out of this already and everything. I've taken the cartridge out. And when we're done with this, I'm also going to do a little follow-up update on a couple of things from my prior video that I wanted to mention that I have now kind of sorted out or just bring to light. Let's see here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little cloth to put under here, because even though this screen is one of these sapphire screens and it's extremely durable and scratch resistant, still it's not going to hurt. I figure I'm going to protect the front of the shell and the casing and the buttons, whatnot. There might be some grime on this, but I think it should be okay. So looking at the back of this device here, it looks like we have about 4 buttons or so. I think I'm going to flip on some more light here. There you go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think these buttons or these screws in here are all part of just this battery piece here. Yep. So let's get them open. See how this goes. And like I said, I just figured, why not just do a quick video on this? There might be other people who might be interested in such a thing, because it has been a problem. And I thought together maybe this might be helpful for somebody. Fortunately, this isn't magnetically tipped. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. I may end up just getting my iFixit kit out and seeing if we can maybe, let's see what size this looks like it's going to be here. There we go. Looks pretty good. Let's see if we can. There you go. Got one. Ooh, that's a long one. Holy crap. Look how long that is. We're going to put that over here. Keep them separate. Not a long one. And this one here is a shorter one. It's a little shorter. So those are going to go on the top, and the big ones are going on the bottom. So now we have this apart. Looks like this just lifts right off. Looks like that's all there is to it. Okay, pretty cool. It's very minimal in design, to be honest with you. I've seen other unboxings and taking apart of the device, but kind of neat seeing on my own too. It looks like, does this slide out? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we may have to pull. It looks like there's a lip underneath this piece of circuit here. See, you can kind of see it in the light. So I guess we have to take this whole piece off here. So where else are we screwed down at here? Got one screw down here. I think this menu button, this maybe looks like it pops out. Like I said, bear with me. I haven't had this thing open before. I'm just trying to go with the flow, so to speak. So we're going to leave that like that. That looks easy enough. That just pops over that. That's a very small little button there for the menu. And I'm trying to see where all the screws are. I don't know if this piece needs to come off, or there is a screw down here. Let's see if we can get this one. Alright, well, let's take these out, I guess, and see what happens, huh? We've got three screws down in here. I wasn't expecting to have to take the whole thing apart. Of course, after the fact, I'm probably going to discover I didn't have to, but yeah, see, that's just holding that down, I think. So I don't think we need to take that off, but all right. So I'm going to try to lift this off without causing too much chaos. Just lift it up a little bit, enough to get this out of here. So it looks like this will just come out, hopefully. See, I'm used to it on the Game Boy, just kind of falling out. But this seems to be in there pretty tight. I wonder if we need a spudger, just to kind of give it a little push in there. Let's see. Let's try taking the spudger and just giving it a little tuck under. There you go. Yep, that's all it took. Just a little nudge from the spudger. There it is. Okay. Now you want the open end up here be facing towards you when you go to put the new one in, it looks like. So I'm going to lay that one over there. And we're going to open up our replacement. And it's going to go in just like that. And it looks like they actually put a little piece of protective plastic on it. I'm going to peel that off. And if Modretro is watching, I would highly suggest you include that that little piece of cover on any future new handhelds that you're going to be shipping, just to give it that little extra, safety precaution. So I'm going to try to fit this in. There you go. Yeah, looks like it just snaps right in. Couple little clicks. All right, not bad. Let's realign that right back up. Hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, because when you go to lift this out, you want to make sure, when you go to put it back in rather, you want to make sure you have these ports, the power port and the headphone jack. Make sure they're, you want to go downward first. You don't want to just lay it flat, because when you took it out, you kind of had to lift them out of those holes, okay? So, but yeah, that looks like all there is to it. All right, so we are going to put these 3 screws back in. I wasn't sure if they had to come out or not, but it looks like they did. So we're going to put them back in. You know what, before I put this back in, I don't want any surprises. So let's take a quick look and see. I like to check to make sure the membranes didn't shift around. That was a problem when you're doing, the mods for the Game Boy. Every time you get a lay of this motherboard down in the Game Boy, you always end up shifting those, the little rubber guys, the pads. They always tend to move. Sorry, I know it's not the best camera angle, but I'm literally just screwing some screws in here. And it was nice of them to include their screwdriver. It's great for people, because a lot of people, funny enough, don't have toolkits of any kind. But see, I really like my iFixit, because I got that magnetic tip. These things are great. So, and then we got this guy down in this corner here. Okay. And we're going to put the menu button back in. See if we can get this on correctly. There you go. Just kind of lays in there. Alright. Now we're going to lay this on top. Line everything up. Hopefully it just all screws right back together. Looks like a pretty clean thing there. Okay, we got these. Oops, geez. Got these long buggers here. We're gonna put them right in here. As a kid, my dad always taught me a trick to always, when you go to put in screws, try to do them, don't do a cross. Always do like opposite and across. So I like to do, whenever I start on the bottom right, I'll do the top left and vice versa. Just to try to give it an even tightness correction. It's just something that was always ingrained into me as a kid. Little things I picked up. I'm one of those weirdos. I always used to like to see how things worked and opened up and everything. So I'm just going to pop this one in and we will be done. Okay. That looks a lot better than the other one. Besides some finger smudges. No scratches. Excellent. So yeah, if anybody has this problem on their Chromatic, Look at that. I mean, I emailed these guys. It was like right after New Year's, right around New Year's, and I had a response within like an hour or two, not even. And it's like the next day, I got an email notification saying I had a package on the way from California, and I'm like, well, I wasn't really expecting anything, so that might be it. Didn't actually say Modretro. His name was Nick, so if Nick is the guy I talked to, thanks again, Nick. I really appreciate this. Awesome stuff. And it's cool that you guys are able to supply the parts like this in piecemeal. That's very cool. One of the neat things I like about this, it's pretty modular. So, all right. So yeah, moving on. We're going to put the batteries back in, and we're going to see if this thing hopefully still boots now that I've taken it apart. And I want to end the video showing a few things that I wanted to mention that I failed to mention, and also an update on my findings after the fact of doing the last video in terms of the cartridges. Let's just make sure his power's on. Oh wait, I know what the problem is, right? Well, I'm on the menus button, it's not working. That's not good. So I might have to take it apart again. Oh boy. All right, let's see here. Let's just try cartridge. It's working. Oh, there we go. I don't got a menu. All right, let me turn this light off now. I don't need this on anymore. Okay. All right, so the menu is working. Yeah, there you go. We're good. Okay. All right, so this is an update here. No. This is not an update. This is my EverDrive. We've discerned that it works. And it worked. It worked in the last video. So this is not what I want to talk about. Let me grab the other cartridge, which is what I want to show you. This was the Bung cartridge. So back in the 90s, there was this company called Bung. Yes, like bunghole. And you can actually see their logo right there. These were like the original flash cartridges at the time for Game Boy systems and Game Boy Colors and Pockets. I want to say around 1996, 97, these came out. And there's two different variations that I have. Each one is pretty much the same device, more or less. It just has a little extra space versus the other. So the other one I have is a 16, what is it, megabit, I guess? This is 64. So the 16 was good at holding like a handful, because there was a way to put a menu system on it and you could have multiple games from a list. And I don't know, somewhere in the mix of flashing and trying out these new flashing devices over the years, I must have killed it or something. It's not dead, but I have to get access. It actually works now. I've got it flashed. However, the 16M version does not work on this. I don't know what the difference is. But this 64M version does. And I'm going to show you real quick. This is great. I put on here, it's an indie title called Lunar Lancer from this fellow right here, Jonas Fischbach. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. The game's pretty cool. It's got a bit of a Solar Striker vibe to it. So the palette I'm using right now, this is the light brown palette, which I actually think looks pretty cool. I've always liked this palette. You can change palettes just like you can on the original Game Boy Color. You hold up a certain combination of buttons when you boot the device, and it will give you that palette. And in this case, this is this light brown version of the palette. I think it adds just a little bit of extra color without looking obnoxious and glaring, like maybe like a neon green and a red would look. But this is a really neat game. I recommend you try it out. It's totally free. And if you have a flash card such as this, or an EverDrive, you should be able to just pop it right on there and go. And I can leave a link to this game in the comments below. So, it works really well though. Pops right in and it loads right up. It's excellent. So, this Dr. 64 card from Bung works fine. I end up using a Inside Gadgets flash dongle for flashing this because they just added some support for this card and the 16, and the 16 works great now. But these 64 ones are great because they have more space for a Game Boy Color game, which is great. Anyway, that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. The other was something, and I actually can't remember how you mentioned it, but somebody else brought it to my attention. I know my buddy Shane at Monroe World, he had gotten one of these devices, and he was complaining about the throw in the power switch. See how I'm pushing on that and nothing's happening? And then when you click it, something does happen. This is another thing that's weird, because I just turned this on without a cartridge a little bit ago, and there's like no backlight. Oh wait, no, I had the brightness down. That's right, my bad. But it doesn't look like you can mess with the menu, I guess, unless you have a game in there. All right, so anyway, snapping it off seems okay, but when you push it to go on, you see how I'm kind of caught in the middle there? So if yours does this, it seems like it might be a normal thing. I don't think it's a problem. Okay, so that's something I wanted to mention because I couldn't remember if I mentioned it in the prior video. And somebody had also mentioned to me after I made the video if I noticed anything like that. I don't think it's a serious problem because look, I can just flick it right over. It depends on how fast you do it, really. And yeah, so I think that's about it. That went on pretty easy. And it's nice to have a nice clear IR port up here now. Let me see if I can put them side by side. You can kind of see what I'm talking about because this came like this, you know? See that? I mean, even in the light, you can see, I mean, without, like, not even putting it in the light, if I'm just sitting here like this, you can still see the scratches in person. They're like a off-color, plasticky white divots in there. And I don't know what caused it. I mean, the thing is inside a bubble, it's like a shell inside this, like, see? It's just laying in there. I mean, it is interesting, though, because you can see there's like a blemish right there. So I don't know. Anyway, like I said, if Modretro is watching, I would highly recommend you stick some of these little protective plastic pieces on top of the IR port in the future. Just a pro tip there. Okay, that way, obviously you're going to save some money by not having to send out replacements, which is very kind of you to do, though, I have to say. The support's awesome. My buddy Shane as well. His Tetris cartridge was busted, and they sent him a whole new one. Awesome stuff. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. I hope this was helpful. Take care.